Alright, it is the Shepherdess at Harmony Farms coming at you today with a day in the life of a farm girl. It's raining today. Got a little help with my hay. We are officially feeding hay. Free choice. Probably gonna start feeding more of it because it is the end of January going into February. And we're starting to move the animals back into pastures that we previously grazed. And then, so we're just doing it to keep them on something fresh. But they need food, so it's gonna be hay. Come on, sheep! Thank you. Oh, there's the little babies. They are so good looking. They're doing good. I see her. The mom's right here. The mom is right. That one. So we had two little lambs born a bit early. The ram escaped and got a little mixy off season. But most of the lambs are set to come in about a month and a half. Middle of March, April. But it's been a pretty warm winter, and they look pretty healthy. We're just gonna watch them and see how they do. I guess you don't really have an option one way or another. They either make it or they don't, so. But they're looking so good, so far so good. Hey mama, you're the mama, aren't you? You being good to your babies? Yeah? Take care of them. Feed them. Alright, so it is a little bit rainy today. I was scheduled to move them to another pasture. I am not wanting to do that really much because it is such a low setting pasture that it becomes like a mud pit so quickly, especially when it's wet like this. So I'm going to go up and evaluate it and consider whether it's worth it to move them to something fresh at the expense of mud. Or just leave them on here for a day or two. It's going to dry up this week. We've had a really big struggle with our lambing because the lambs are highly susceptible to parasites. So about month number 1, after the first month, when they start grazing a little bit and not just nursing exclusively, they start to pick up a lot of parasites and their health can go downhill really, really quick. So we're going to be extra careful and extra intentional about maintaining our rotational grazing here with the arrival of these new lambs. So, alright, so this is really weird. I don't know what's going on over here, but I heard one of these. Uh-oh. It's okay. Alright, so I heard one of these left behind. Looks like she got caught up in the hog panel. I'm gonna have to see what I can do. Okay. Oh. There we go. Woo. That was one. Something. So I don't know how long she was stuck there, but she had her head jammed into this little break in the hog panel. It looked like maybe she was trying to eat something on the other side, but she got totally stuck. And when I was calling them, I heard her call from back there, and I was like, they were all up at the trough at that time. So I went down to check, and she was stuck. So thankfully that was easy enough. She doesn't look like she got cut or anything. She looks like she's got a sore neck, but that's about it. So their tail's wagging, and that says they are doing okay, nursing. You don't want to be interviewed right now?
I don't want to be interviewed right now.
Not at all? Like, are you serious? View myself on your behalf. All right, so we went out of town for the weekend, and this farm was not without a farmer. There was a very capable farmer on hand, but filling in for the job of, you know, different people who are out of town. So got a text last night that this guy back here got into the chicken house and got locked in, and the chickens were out all night. One of them, unfortunately, to be honest, got killed by our guard puppy, who we are trying to train to guard the livestock, which is why chicken mama is unhappy. Did I nail it? Is that why you're unhappy?
Yes.
Yeah, she doesn't want to be on film right now because she's so unhappy. It just happens. I mean, I've heard people with guard dog training, they just lose some to their guard dogs. It happens. And we're trying to do our best here with these puppies, so I think it's working out okay. It's just that scenario with the cow in the chicken house made it kind of a difficult situation because the guard puppies attacked one of the chickens. So you're doing a great job. Keep it up. So anyhow, also a situation is happening over there where all of the cows are eating out of the bales. Free choice. So they kind of ripped open 7 different bales. I don't know. We are going to get things back under control here. But no big deal. All in all, things are looking so good. Those lambs are looking good. We rescued sheep from the fence, and we did lose a chicken to our new guard puppies, but guys, it happens. Sometimes bad things happen. Oh, they think I have food. And you just gotta keep going. Oh, and these are supposed to be over with the sheep right now, but they're not, so. Chickshot is doing great. We finally got the new wheels put on. I mentioned in the video that the bike wheels started to break down after the first couple moves, and then we ordered them in and finally got them applied and put the nitrogen fertilization program into a new pasture. And what it's doing is we're just moving it over winter. The grass isn't growing, but the chicken manure is there, so we're just spreading it across the pasture for winter, and then when that spring comes, you know, you'll get the advantage then. So another neat thing about using the chickens to fertilize our pastures is that they don't just drop the fertilization stuff. They also aerate the soil through just their pecking and their scratching. So it's kind of a dual purpose thing. It gets some aeration going as well as the fertilization. So what we got going on over there, it's super green and everything else is super brown. It's actually my sister's project. She has a cover crop going on there for a garden plot. And I think what she has growing are clover, vetch, and cereal ryegrass. And she planted that just for her own garden because I don't know a lot about it, but I think certain of those plantings draw nitrogen into the soil and prepare it for whatever food crop you're gonna plant in the succeeding season. But when I looked at that and I saw that it was green and everything else was brown, I thought, wow, I could really plant some winter pastures. And it doesn't have to be much, especially with how we're rotational grazing, but I could just plant 3 or 4 acres of whatever stays green back there, because this is the end of January. It's been a little warmer than normal. But if I could get something like that planted, then I could have grazing in winter. You know, beyond what we do now, which is just them grazing the dry, dead stuff. How's it going? How's it looking?
Good.
She looking good?
Look, it's pretty healthy.
Yeah, they're doing good.
Yeah. They're both pretty good, normal size too. There's not like one that's super big and the other's really runchy.
I think she keeps coming over just to show them to me. Every time I come up here, she just comes over. You did a good job. You did a good job. So you have, I was just talking about the cover crops that you have going on in your garden.
Really? Yes.
Yeah. So when I went past there, I thought, could I plant those for grazing in winter?
Yeah.
Or is there anything harmful to animals about that?
The clover and the rye is what you're talking about?
Yeah.
No, there's nothing harmful. It's just as long as they have like a balance that's not all they're eating the whole time.
They're super green right now at the end of January in East Texas.
Yeah.
Is it just been because it's been a warmer winter? Would they have died off by now?
Yeah. They're the warmer winter definitely. If it had gotten maybe 10 degrees colder on the coldest night, they probably would have died off completely. Right now, their growth is definitely stunted because of the frosts we've been getting, but yeah, definitely they've thrived because of the warmer weather.
When did you plant those?
Planted them back in October, I think. Yeah.
So you planted in October, and I planted my pasture in November, late November. We'll see. It should start coming up the first 2 weeks of March if it did okay and took to it, but we'll see.
Yep. What boy or girl?
One male and one female. Okay. Yes. That's what we got from the twins over there. So I was gonna move them over to fresh pasture, so I need your input here. But the area where I typically move them to is super low and it's really like muddy right now.
Right.
I don't know if I should just move them through the gate, which is a little higher elevation, for this week while it dries out. Even though we just had them on there at the beginning of December. Because we're watching for parasites. We're trying to give everything like 60 days rest for the die off. But I don't know if the cold weather's given us enough of an advantage to be able to.
How long is the minimum time you can wait as far as...
They said 30 days in either the coldest or the hottest weather for parasite die off. And then 70 days when it's really balmy and springtime weather. So we've had 45 days on that particular patch. So do you think that's good?
I think you probably don't have a choice. We've had some really cold days this last month.
Yeah.
So I think
we've had enough cold to...
Yeah. I'd say go ahead and do it. Just take your chances.
Okay, take your chances. Chances. That's kind of what farming's all about. Just doing your best and taking your chances.
Yep.
What are you doing, buddy? You playing in the rain? Playing in the rain? You need to go into the shade. Alright, so we've got a lot of eggs. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So production's picked up a little bit.
It has.
So we hit the shortest day of the year about a month ago.
Yes.
And more eggs. Farmer on days like this. He does.